Hi, I'm Marco. I'm a filmmaker, reenactor, and also a tabletop gamer. As you can see here, tabletop gaming's been a big part of my life ever since I was 12. It's been with me in my highs and my lows. And it actually interacts with a lot of other hobbies I have, such as historical reenactment. In my time reenacting and playing tabletop games, I've met so many amazing people and so many fantastic friends. A couple of my friends, Euan and Jacob, I went to go see about why they got interested in tabletop gaming. Maybe their insight will make you think that this might be for you. Maybe not, but who knows, you might find yourself interested in a brand new hobby and a brand new community to boot. But first, before we get into my friends who have much nicer voices than I do, we're going to discuss where Warhammer started and where it's at today. Before Warhammer was Warhammer, it was known as Rogue Trader. It was a sci-fi version of Dungeons & Dragons, and in it you played as the eponymous Rogue Trader. A Rogue Trader is somebody within the Warhammer universe that has unfettered access to vast swaths of the galaxy, and has great influence due to their ties to other species, trade routes, and even command and experience in militaries. It was quite a fun game, and spawned from it 2nd edition. From there, we saw the 40k setting expand and explode, until today, where we have 10th edition, the current edition of the game. As of 2025, it's been out for going on 2 years, and it's had many numerous rule changes and has caused the community to have a little bit of mixed opinions on the new edition. But that's enough history for now. Let's go to Carnoustie and visit Jacob and get his thoughts on Warhammer.
Yes, I'm Jacob. I'm a massive Warhammer nerd, massive history nerd. You know, I'm really all kinds of nerd. That's who I am. Ever since I was young, I'd always loved like military history. You know, I grew up with like Zulu, A Bridge Too Far, and then of course you've got like Band of Brothers and all that. You know, so like I've always loved sort of military history. And then when I saw the Cadians and the Astra Militarum for the first time, I was like, that was me. That was me. I was sorted. Honestly, it was the artwork. It was the artwork because I still have it somewhere. I have the 7th edition codex for the Astra Militarum. I went through that probably about like 100 times. I absolutely love it, and the art in there is just amazing. And that sort of got like my creative gears turning, and I started like thinking more and going like, oh, I could get this and this, and I started seeing the models, finding out more about it, how to play the game, and it sort of went on from there. The lore nerds are great. Like just being able to chat about like the most niche little tiny bits of information from Warhammer for like hours on end is great. You know, you've got your other parts of like sort of like the meme community and all that, but I really just like the lore and the history, because I'm a history nerd, so I'm able to sort of transfer my real life history enthusiasm into the Warhammer sphere and just sort of go through it like I would do if I was researching the Battle of the Somme. I could research the Battle of Calum, you know. So if I'm not working, I'm in here modelling, painting, building, or I'm doing a concerning amount of gaming. It gives me a bit of peace, gives me a bit of quiet from sort of everyday life, you know. I always know at the end of like a rough shift I can just come back here and just sort of model, let time sort of go. This one's definitely an expensive coping mechanism, that's for bloody sure. But yeah, there's a lot of differences with it, but I feel like at the end, if it helps you feel even a little bit better, then no matter what it is, it's good. Because like once you sort of get into the groove, especially for me, if I get into the groove of like painting and building, then this will be just what I focus on for like weeks at a time, and I won't really focus on my other hobbies. Like even if I'm gaming, I'll be like, oh, I could game, or I could actually go down and do some painting, and the painting always wins. The Warhammer always wins.
Thank you, Jacob. Now we head to Milnathort to go talk to Euan about his experiences.
Hello, my name is Euan. I'm 22 years old and I am an apprentice at Navanta UK. I am also a Warhammer nerd. Well, it wasn't actually me who got myself involved into the tabletop gaming of 40k. It was actually my brother. I got him into Warhammer during COVID, and he kind of went even bigger than me and started going to tournaments, and then he introduced me into the tabletop gaming instead of painting. So that's when I got involved into it, and then we made a whole big club in my local town. We have a club where everyone can join for free, and there's armies pre-built where you can have a try, and people are willing to teach you and just kind of a get together. I would say that kind of gets around about 30 people per day. I think the most interesting aspect of Warhammer to me is the painting. I find painting the most fun. I could spend so many hours on painting. That's not saying that I find tabletop fun as well. I enjoy like having a game night with the boys. You can sit down, have a laugh, play the game, and then by the end of the night it's bedtime, so it's a whole day kind of stuff. So I find everything interesting, but definitely painting I like the most. I think the most cinematic experience was when I was playing with Marco and he had a big knight mech and he had killed my entire squad but my singular commissar. So I had my commissar do the last stand moment and charge the big knight, which makes the commissar look like an ant compared to the big knight. And I think that was quite cinematic because he somehow survived for a little bit, but he then didn't survive, evidently. I don't mind Warhammer being expensive because per model, and I like taking quite a long time on models, I get a lot of fun out of it. I would just sit myself down and start painting and I could be there all day and still not move on to another model. So I would say the price for stuff is justified. It's just getting the stuff sometimes, going to the shop and then going to buy it is sometimes a bit daunting with the price that you get, but with the hours I usually put into painting, I would say it's justified. I've met a lot of friends within the club and met a lot of new people who are into it, and I've also got my friend called Tyler who he's been kind of interested in the painting, and I've managed to convince him to maybe try Warhammer. I'll just have to see if he paints it and then I can play a game with him. It's within this hobby you meet loads of new people if you go out and play tabletop. Everyone's really kind, they want to support you and play games. It's a good hobby. You wanna go? Flora doesn't like Warhammer. I'm most excited about painting High Chaplain Grimaldus. Grimaldus is the High Chaplain of the Black Templars. You could say he is clinically insane like every other Black Templar. He's just insane, kills everything in sight. What a Black Templar does.
Thank you, Euan, for your insight. Now we know some people here don't exactly know how to play Warhammer, so we created a small instructional video on how to do it for beginners.
So, the big question is, setting up a Warhammer game. How do I do it? How do the turns progress? How does it bloody work, damn your eyes? Well, you start off by setting up terrain, old chap. With our own home rules, we each roll a 6-sided die, and then we set up one piece of terrain each, back and forth, until it's all done. Then, myself and whoever I'm playing against will roll, yet again, another 6-sided die. Whoever rolls the highest goes first. So, let's say by some luck of the draw, you win the dice roll. You then set up one unit of your army. Then your opponent does the exact same, and vice versa, until both of your armies are set up and ready to go on the offensive. And what comes next, I hear you ask? Well, you guessed it, you both roll another 6-sided die, this time for the command phase. Whoever wins can use certain commands and stratagems from their respective armies, which I have to say can make you feel like quite the armchair general.
What does a fucking war hero need to do to get some fucking dice rolls round here?
After whoever won that third dice roll, they will be in the movement phase now, where they can move around the board doing what they please. Most characters and units will have their own sort of movement area, let's say 5 inches. Then, that person will go into the shooting phase, which is exactly what it sounds like. You start making your rolls for shooting, which for me is basically useless because I have no luck with my dice rolls. After that, you have your charge phase. Let's say your unit is 11 inches away from the traitorous enemy. You would roll 2 d6s, and if you get a combined score of 11 or 12, you have successfully made a charge. Well done, General. Then you're into your melee phase, which is where you absolutely stab the living hell out of your opponent. You will have noticed by now, the phases of each round are quite self-explanatory, old chap. And guess what? Boom! You've just finished your first full phase of a Warhammer 40,000 round. Well done, old chap. You're a regular General Zukov. Good luck out there. Warhammer is actually incredibly immersive. Sometimes you genuinely feel like you're in the front lines with your troops, holding off an enemy advance.
Let none escape!
Sickness plagues this ground I step upon.
Spore clouds! Seal your helms! Weapons ready, Sergeant! Cleanse the corruption! Hold formation! No retreat, brothers!
It can be one of the best feelings in the world. It is so incredibly rewarding when you get that immersive, spectacular feeling in the middle of a game.
Fall back to defensible ground, then countercharge!
So much blood! Too much to drink! Breathe deep, fools.
You know, after jumping over all those hurdles it took for you to finally set up this game with your mates, and now you're in the thick of it. You know, if you're like me, you're probably getting battered. What makes Warhammer different from grown people playing with dolls? To be honest, there are absolutely none. Apart from, our dolls are way cooler, and they're also war dollies, so, like, that's a win for us.
But our purpose is greater still! Courage and honor, brothers! Courage and honor!
Well, I would say you're not going to learn everything at once. Like, you won't instantly pick it up and pick up your first model and know how to do it. Or even play your first game and instantly win. But it's so worth it. It's incredibly worth it. Like, when you're new to the hobby and you go to your first Warhammer store and you start speaking to the guys, and maybe you meet another person there and you start having a conversation, you start learning more, and you find out that it is a massive, massive thing. There's a load of lore, there's a load of everything. But you don't have to know all that. You just have to know like little snippets, what you're interested in. And you sort of go from there. Like you pick up your first model, you start painting it, you finish it, and you're like, you know what, actually, you'll get that feeling of, this is worth it and this is something I'd like to do. And it's just great if you want a bit of a stress reliever, if you want something like that, or you just want to meet new people, then it's a great hobby to get into.
I think if someone's on the fence of wanting to start this hobby, I think they should start it, because you'll have ultimate fun. There's never-ending fun, especially when you're playing games, because everyone's a different game. There's nothing like the same, and just have an absolute laugh, or you can be absolutely competitive and serious about winning. It's almost like a sandbox. You can do what you want, stuff like that. You can make up your own kind of missions, operations going in. It's up to everyone. I think it's a fun game that everyone can enjoy and learn at the same time. It's a bit hard to learn, but once you start playing it, you get it. You get the rules, and you'll be like, whoa.
I mean, I think that's kind of what happened with like me and you, Marco. Like, we were always mates. Like, we'd known each other for years, but like we weren't speaking too much, you know, and all that. Like, we sent the odd message and the odd meme and that. But then we started playing Space Marine 2 together, and we started going from there. And we're, you know, pretty close now. And you even got like people I've met at like Warhammer stores up and down the country. You know, like you can just start a conversation with a stranger, and you end up getting on really well, and you have like an hour and a half long conversation with them.
From everybody here who helped make this film, I sincerely thank you for watching, and hope that you enjoyed and maybe found out something new about a hobby that may interest you. Have a nice day, and until next time, farewell.
Sorry. You're way too socially awkward for this, man.
At the start of a Warhammer game.
I'm so
At the start of a war.
It's so bad.
And this is what keeps bringing me. Jesus Christ.
Are you okay?
Open the door, dude.
Oh wait, I didn't realize you were ready. Oh, I just felt it. That's fucking disgusting.
What does a war hero need to do around here to get some fucking dice rolls? Sorry.
A little bit too zealous there.
Yeah, sorry,
just hand the hat to me.